Good morning. Had some time this morning and thought I would try to help a few folks out with selecting an ambulance for a conversion. If you look behind me, here's one. We'll use it for an example today, and I got another one inside the station that we'll look at too. But here's a couple of things for you to look at and think about when you're looking to source an ambulance for a conversion. This is a Deemers unit, built by Deemers, which I think might be a Canadian company. Early 2000s, I believe. I don't remember the exact year. This one's got some issues that's having to be worked on. Let's see what year it says. It says it's a 2003. So anyway, Deemers, you usually will tell them by this weird deal on top of the cab, which can mess up some plans for camper conversions, especially if you plan to put some sort of rack up there. When you're looking at ambulances, think about these. These lights, that's a hole in the fender. Do you want to keep the lights there, or do you want to replace them? Get rid of those lights. The grill, again, this grill has got siren speakers and lights in the grill. Is this something you want to keep in place, or do you want to get rid of it? As we come around the side, we see we've got 3 red emergency lights. These are LED, I believe, in this model, and they can be replaced with clears to match the clear scene lights, or you can do away with them and put a patch panel over that. Again, it's all in what your preference is, what you want to do. Something to consider though, some ambulances have a different style of light around the top that can change your plan there for how you're going to deal with those. In the back of this bus, you can see the vertical amber lights at the top. Many times those lights are run sideways around the top, and I think our truck inside's got that on it currently, to give you an idea of what that looks like when they're run horizontally. But again, these are lights that you might have to deal with. The lights at the top, the red lights at the top, are emergency lights. The red lights here are brake lights that come on with your brake lights down there. And forgive me for the duck hunters in the background. As we continue around this side, again, much of the same. You got the emergency lights at the top and the lights in the front fender. Something I haven't said anything about is mechanical condition. I'm not focusing on mechanical condition of these trucks at the current. I'm more focusing on what you might look for in an ambulance to better plan your conversion. So do your due diligence and figure out what works best for you in engine, transmission, driveline, anything of that nature. As I said, this is a Deemers unit, and again, Deemer is the builder of the box. Kind of a standard configuration. This front compartment is your oxygen compartment. Generally, there is a oxygen bottle in here that provides oxygen for the truck. If you're making a conversion, this compartment can make a great electrical compartment, or if you choose, I've seen some people put water tanks in this compartment. Moving back on this truck, this one's kind of scary. There's a lot of stuff in there, and we'll move this panel out. Electrical is part of why this truck is down for maintenance at the moment. So this compartment is large, and that panel that I pulled out covers the electrical and allows you to have this area down here open. If I were converting this truck, I would remove all of this electrical from here up and gut it. Could you use some of the circuit breakers and relays, yes, you could use them, but much of this equipment is not needed for a ambulance conversion. This bus does have an auto ejector. Most people just call them a shore power plug. It can be converted to a regular shore power or something else. These are vents that vent the inside of the truck, and we'll look at the inside of the truck in a moment. Going to the back compartment, most ambulances in this area will have extrication gear. As we can see here, we've got a spare tire in here. Many trucks have a spare tire in this location as well. With this compartment, something to consider is the fact that we have this area here. This is the cabinet on the inside. And if you plan on doing a bed across the back, you might plan that from here up will be part of your bed. So you may have to do some reworking of this area. Continuing on, this compartment is another full-length tall compartment. And if you look here, we've got a backboard compartment divider. The divider can come out, and let me turn you around so you can see this in a little better shape without my ugly mug. Well, here's that backboard compartment. Again, it's a tall compartment, and again, if you look, this protrudes into the passenger compartment. So again, if you're planning a bed across the back, a full-size bed, you're going to have to do some modification in this area. Maybe bring it down in this vicinity to make sure you have room for your bed across the back if that's what you choose. Here in the front, we've got a compartment, and this compartment, if we look, it passes through to the inside. This goes to the inside of the bus. And down here is a house battery box. Recording with this phone, it's a little troublesome to me, and so this is not something that I do. I'm a emergency services professional, not a professional YouTuber. This truck has a window that opens in the door. Well, there's the window that opens in the door. Provides some decent ventilation. And looks like they've stored a cot in here since the last time I was in this truck. So we'll come back to this in just a second. In this bus, we see they have modified the dash quite a bit. We've got the standard HVAC controls here, which is standard for the E-Series. And if you look down here, they've relocated the stereo into the console. Now, many of these consoles on the dog houses, if you'll look in that vicinity there, you can see a buckle. Those just come loose, and you can put various different console pieces on your doghouse, even the 08 and newer console pieces generally attached with quite ease. The front is basically just the front of an E-Series. If we look up here, we've got some panels up here and here, and that accesses into that funky little dome on the top of the cab to change light bulbs. As we move back here, we see that this is a pass-through, and it's a full pass-through. I'm 6'2" and weigh about 300 pounds, and I can fit through that pass-through to transition from front to back with minimal grief. The problem is that console that's sitting right there is in the way. As we start to work our way around the inside, we'll see here is the inside access to that oxygen compartment. And if we look, we can see that this ledge here, that's that inner deal, and this outer cabinet and door and everything can be pulled away, and that aluminum diamond plate that's inside that compartment would stay in place. As we continue to look back in this area, this is the back side of all those relays and electrical wiring. And again, if I were to convert this unit, this whole area would pretty much go away, and I would do my own thing, my own design. As we continue back, we see a small countertop. Generally, your cardiac monitor is sitting there, a CPR seat, and then the compartment back here is where the spare tire was. So the spare tire sits below this, and if you look, you see this little bump out here. You can see that inside that outer compartment where the spare tire was. And I was talking about, if you're doing a bed. So if I was to do a bed in this bus, I would probably put the bed level at about this level here, and everything above would have to come out. So if you look back on this side, you can see that backboard compartment, and again, it would have to be cut down to match. As we look down the curbside or passenger side of the bus, we can see that it's pretty much just a bench seat, cabinet up top, bench down below. There's storage under the bench, and these you can change for whatever configuration that you desire. So we've kind of went from outside to inside, looked over the whole thing, and personally, if I were to convert this truck, this whole box in the back would be gutted. We would get rid of everything, go to just a square box shell and start all over. And for those of you that are looking at me as a medic and a firefighter and say, well, what do you know about, converting ambulances? Never converted an ambulance, I'll tell you that. Spent a lot of time working in them. And I have converted a cargo trailer. So I have a nice 6x12 cargo trailer that, if you imagine this being 6 feet wide, 12 foot long, which it's about 8 foot wide and about 12 foot long. I got a bed at the back. I got a refrigerator over by the side door, solar panel on the roof, solar power, 400 amp hours of lithium ion batteries. I built it out quite right. Got pictures I'll share. If anybody wants pictures, just give me a holler and I'll gladly give you pictures or share them. And again, that is a cargo trailer build. So, and we're talking about ambulance builds. Something I forgot to mention when I was out here earlier, if we look, this is an E series. And it's an E450 to be exact, if we look right there. And this van, cutaway van, ambulance bus, whatever you want to call them, this is classified as a type 3 ambulance, and it is type 3 because it is a box on the back and an E-Series van chassis on the front. All right, we moved inside the station here. Now we'll look at a Type 1 truck. Again, we still got there we go, a big box on the back, but up front we have an F-Series chassis with a pickup truck front end instead of the van front end. I'll touch on some differences on why this is not my choice for conversion in a moment. As we do a little walk around here, we'll see we still have lights on the fenders that we need to consider. If we're going to do a conversion, do we want to get rid of these lights? Also, if we look at the front grille, we have lights in the grille. And in this case, we got a big Federal Q and siren speakers and air horns in the front bumper that may need to be deleted. A lot of this depends too on your state's laws on some of this equipment. If we look up at the top, we see these lights that I were talking about were running vertical on the other bus, and they're horizontal on this bus. This bus has clear lenses. These lights all light up red. The front light here is an emergency light. It's red. This one is a scene light. And then at the back, we have a scene light and an emergency light. And our compartment configuration is very similar. Oxygen compartment, equipment compartment, some of our extrication gear, and then we go to the back. Again, with this truck, we have this large backboard compartment at the back that would need to be modified if you wanted a bed across the back. Up here, again, we have our pass-through. This compartment, again, goes through to the inside. These doors open up inside. We'll show you that in a moment. And again, a drawer. This one has equipment in it, whereas the house batteries are not there. They're all mounted under the hood. All right, guys, we're in a in-service ambulance now, and we'll do a little pan around here and show you some of the different things, how we would make some differences in this truck. Again, this is a Type 1 truck, and if you look over my left shoulder there, you will see this is why I would not convert one of these trucks to a camper. And I'll go into a little more depth. Let me turn the camera around for you. Okay, so here's why I wouldn't convert one of these into a camper. If we look here, we got a pass through to the cab, but it's this little window. That's probably 18 inches tall, maybe 24 inches wide, and that's it. So if you are out on a quest and camping or traveling, whatever, it's pouring down rain, you want to go from the driver's seat to the box where we're at now, you got to get out of the truck and go around. You're probably not going to crawl through there with any ease. On the Deemer's truck, we had all this electrical stuff on the outside, and on this truck, well, it's right there in that space. Again, if I were converting this truck, it would lose all of the ambulance electrical, and I would start fresh. Here's that oxygen compartment. There's access to the oxygen compartment from inside so that you can turn the big oxygen bottle on. This panel, a little different. There'll be some electrical behind this panel as well. And that again ties back to that cabinet for running of all the lights and everything in here. These cabinets, there'll be some aluminum underneath of them where the outer compartments are, which limits what you can do in here, but you can build around nicely. Again, a CPR seat, the cardiac monitor that in the other truck would sit on the shelf. And here is that area that you would want to work around to do your bed across. And again, that spine board compartment, backboard compartment that's here that you would have to cut into. Looking up front, it's a basic F-Series Ford truck. Got a console, a couple of captain's chairs, and a backup camera up there. I hope you found this informative and helpful, and I hope it works to help you decide some things. I have plans to make another video of a floor plan that I've laid out for a 8x12 box, which the Deemer's is an 8x12. This box, this AEV box, is an 8x14. Little larger, a little more room, obviously, but it just depends on what you find for sale. Something I didn't touch on is headspace. Right there, headspace. I'm sitting in the captain's chair, able to reach up and touch the ceiling. If I stand up, I have to be careful because 6'2", my head's rubbing the ceiling, If I get real straight, I'm in it hard. So that's another thing to think about. What is your profile of your personal self, and can you stand up in the rig you choose to convert? If you can't, are you okay with being hunched over while you're, in your rig? If you're using an area like this to have a stove and prepare food, are you okay sitting and cooking? That kind of thing. A lot of it is all personal preference. Again, I hope this has benefited somebody. And again, I will soon do a video of my my layout and my design process of what I'm looking to build. Yes, I am looking to buy an ambulance. I have a few found, but haven't decided that yes, that's the one I want. I took, for my design, my layout, I took a basic box of 8 by 12, laid out my equipment, took some of the baseline measurements of, for instance, the backboard compartment, the spare tire compartment, took some basic measurements for those things off of different trucks, and kind of laid out a plan for a rig off of those measurements. Again, those will probably have to be flexed, and might have to make some changes pending on which rig do I buy, how is it set up. I think if you go back and look at the video and watch, you'll see that the oxygen compartment in this AEV is much larger than the oxygen compartment in the Deemers. And again, that's going to impact your build, impact your conversion. So what do you want, and how much work are you willing to dive into? For me, I'm going to gut the back of a truck, and we're going to go down to the bare studs, as you would say in a house, and I'm going to build it like I want it. I'm going to do the electrical like I want it. This way, I know what's there, and if something breaks in the future, I know where I've got to go to fix it. So, having put all that together, tell me what you guys think. Be brutal, be honest. I don't care. I got big shoulders. I can take it. I really don't care. I've got people I watch on YouTube, and they're the same way. Put your comment in. It's all about feedback. Hey, am I terrible talking to the camera? Probably so, because this is something new to me. Again, as you see me today, I'm a firefighter and a medic, and my full-time job, this is a part-time job. This is not my full-time job. My full-time job, I am a deputy sheriff for a county here in Oklahoma. So little different, talking to cameras, not normal for me. Talking to people are. So give me some feedback. Let me know what you think. And if you'd like to know more about a certain part of a truck, if I have access to a truck that I can take videos and produce a video for you and let you know something about a truck, I'd be more than happy to do so. Thank you for watching, and have a good day.